Okay, so to give you a feel for what we're going to go through today, we're going to start off with some introductions, then get into some of the nitty-gritty details about CIEE and their Open Campus program model, as well as what the academics and financial aspects of this program will look like and how to get started with an application if this program feels right for you. And as we go through this, please know both Molly and myself will be online for this session. And so you can drop questions you may have throughout the presentation in the chat box. We will be monitoring that. We may hold some questions to ask verbally later on in the presentation, or if we know that information will be coming up. But please don't hesitate to use that chat box to ask questions you may have. As you can see from this slide, I am Barbara Young, Program Manager in the ASU Study Abroad Office. I've worked here for about 7 years now and work with a lot of our CIEE Open Campus programs, including the multiple destination track of this program. I'm joined today by Molly. Molly, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Molly Bestie. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I am coming to you from Michigan today. I'm Assistant Director of Institutional Relations with CIEE and have been with the organization for coming up on 10 years. So thrilled to be talking about our Open Campus block programs with you today.
Awesome. Thanks, Molly. And I'm going to turn this over to you, and you can just let me know as you're ready to advance through slides.
All right. When we can travel again. So I just wanted to start with just a brief explanation of who CIEE is. I think when students are searching for study abroad opportunities, it often becomes a little bit of an alphabet soup and lots of letters and acronyms out there. So CIEE stands for the Council on International Educational Exchange, and we are a nonprofit organization. We were founded in 1947. Our mission, as you can read on the screen, is to help people gain understanding, acquire knowledge, and develop skills for living in a globally interdependent, and culturally diverse world. We do this through our study abroad programs for U.S. college students, but we also are the largest J-1 visa sponsor and bringing students here to study in the U.S. We do partner with more than 300 member institutions, so ASU is one of our strong partners, and if you study abroad on a CIEE program, you're going to meet classmates from colleges and universities all over the United States. So that's kind of an exciting cultural immersion experience right in its own. And we can move on to the next. I wanted to talk a little bit about what makes CIEE unique. I think the first and foremost, I would say it's our people. So these are some pictures of some of our real center directors around the world. It's really the people that make the difference. So when you're selecting a study abroad program with a partner like CIEE, you can rest assured that we have staff who live and work in the city and country that you've chosen to study abroad in. Typically, they are local folks. Sometimes they are from the US, but have lived abroad for many, many years. So they really understand the local culture and context of the city you've chosen to study in. So the center directors also have a full staff of employees, and these folks are there to arrange things like student life, housing, and academic support. So really our people are incredible and will keep you feeling supported throughout the duration of your study abroad program. Next slide really represents the other most important part, and that's our students. So let's see if can I advance? There we go. Our students are incredible. I mean, if you can imagine being around for more than 70 years, we've had some pretty incredible students who've gone on from our study abroad programs to go do really amazing jobs around the world and really change the world. And these are some of our current alumni of our Frederick Douglass Global Fellows program and other programs around the world. And they've been taking over our social media lately. So if you do follow us on Instagram or Facebook, you're going to be reading some student stories. And I know that Barbara would also, like I would, encourage you to connect with some alumni from study abroad. That could be from a CIEE program or just another ASU student who has gone abroad, and really hear from them what their experience was like. And that can really help you to maybe narrow down a decision on where you want to go and what you want to study. So definitely focus in on some of our student stories being posted online. So we can go to the next slide here. We're really here today to talk about CIEE Open Campus Block programs. And so the Open Campus Block programs are part of what we call our Global Institute network. So what is a Global Institute? This is really just a study center that is a host to a few different types of programs. So you may find that a Global Institute has direct enroll, kind of traditional semester programs, but it is also where we run our Open Campus Block program, which is a very unique program model that we're going to really go into detail and talk about this model today. So the Open Campus Block program, in short, is a 6-week block program, or a program that is offered in 6-week academic blocks. And it was designed to be our most flexible program. It was designed to be our most affordable program, and really to give students the idea or the options to kind of choose your own study abroad adventure. So when we designed this program, we created it with mobility in mind, meaning that students could select up to 3 cities in one semester if they so chose. Due to COVID-19, we've had to pause some of that mobility aspect just to keep our students as safe as possible. But this is something that we do foresee reinstating in the future. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about Open Campus Block and you're planning maybe study abroad in a year from now or something along those lines. We're going to dig down deep into a lot of the program aspects in the next coming slides. So I believe on the next one, we'll talk a little bit about the specific locations where you can find Open Campus Block programs. Many of them are going to be in our sites in Europe, but you'll see some that are in other continents in the world as well. I don't know, Barbara, if it's slow for you, but it's a little bit slow to pop up for me, so I apologize. Okay. Here we go.
Seeing it?
I'm seeing it now. Yeah, sorry, and hopefully out there
like I'm
for you.
trying to hit you well.
Oh, you're doing a great job. I think there's a little delay on my end. So
Gotcha.
yeah, so as I mentioned, we have the majority of our locations are going to be in Europe. So you're going to see Berlin, Copenhagen, London, Paris, Madrid, and Rome in Europe. And then we also have a few of our global institutes in Latin America. So you have Buenos Aires in Argentina, and Santiago in Chile, and Monteverde in Costa Rica. In Africa, we have Global Institute Open Campus Block program in Cape Town. And then in Asia Pacific, we have centers in Shanghai, in Sydney, and I don't know if it's represented here, but also in Singapore. So I think I might be missing one of our locations, but Singapore also has Open Campus Block program. So pretty exciting network. And if you keep that mobility aspect in mind, you can kind of see here that locations, you could kind of combine multiple locations to create a program that suits you. And we can move on to the next, which would be a little bit more of kind of spelling out and just really highlighting the Open Campus Block program overview itself, so you can kind of better understand how this flexible program could work for you. So as I mentioned, it's a semester length program, but it's broken up into 6-week academic blocks. Conveniently, block 1 lines up with ASU session A and B. Each of our blocks is 6 weeks long, where you earn 6 academic credits, which means that students will select 2 courses to take simultaneously. You focus in on those 2 courses during that one block, and if you choose to move on to the next block, you could do so and take 2 additional courses. So each block, the second block would be ASU session C. The third block is also ASU session C. Is that right, Barbara? Great. So if you were to do blocks 1 and 2, you would actually be on a 12-week program, which is 12 credits long. If you were to do all 3 blocks, this is an 18-week long program with up to 18 credits that you could earn. And you can choose to stay in one location for the concurrent blocks. You could choose to put more than one location in your application. So the dates align among all of these blocks and all of our locations. In the courses, we have 7, I believe it is up to 7 academic tracks now that students can pick and choose their coursework from. So you're not locked into any one major. You can pick and choose from any of those academic tracks to suit you and the courses that fit your needs. We'll talk a little bit more about some of the other aspects of the program, including some of the study tours and cultural activities and community engagement, and the academic projects and how those fit in a little bit later. Okay, so again, just in summary, the Open Campus block model, students have the utmost flexibility to choose one 6-week block, 2 blocks, or all 3 blocks for a full semester program. They can choose to study at just one global institute for the entire duration of the program, or they can choose to study in up to 3 different cities in the Global Institute network. And you can choose one academic calendar for all programs, but it should really say many academic tracks to choose from. A little bit about student life. Here's a beautiful picture from London where we have a global institute. I wanted to highlight a current student, an ASU student who's actually abroad right now this fall. Abigail, she's a junior and she's studying abroad on our Open Campus block program in London right now. This is a quote from her. So during these turbulent and stressful times, CIEE has been extremely accommodating, friendly, and welcoming to us. She's had an amazing time in London so far, and she's glad she took the leap to study abroad this semester. We realize that studying abroad during a pandemic can be quite scary for most. And Abigail did decide that was a decision she was comfortable making. So she's abroad right now. That's a real picture of her in London from the Open Campus block program. So if you are thinking about studying abroad in the near future, I think Abigail would be a great person to connect with. And so I know that Barbara has some sessions, maybe thinking about planning some of the sessions with our current ASU students who are abroad right now. So you can kind of get a feel for what is their experience like, what would they recommend and maybe what wouldn't they, how would they prepare you? So there's a little bit from Abigail. Thinking about student life, I think, the biggest aspect of study abroad, of course, is your academics. You want to make sure that you're taking courses that can keep you on track to degree completion and graduation, which is nice because CIEE has a lot of those academic tracks available. But a lot of students like to think about what else is involved with the study abroad program. And so when you study abroad with CIEE, you're guaranteed co-curricular activities, study tours, and excursions. So every CIEE program actually has, in each block, there's at least 2 study tours. And these tend to be tied to your academics. So they could be things like company visits. It could be things like museum tours. If it's an art history class, you might actually visit the museum and look at the works of art you've been talking about. So really interesting guided tours, food tastings and cooking classes and things like this. So some of these study tours are embedded and required as part of your academics. Some of the cultural activities are not required, but recommended and included. So you don't have to pay any extra for activities and excursions on a CIEE program. And we do plan a lot of activities. So in recent days, a lot of these have been closer to home, kind of closer to the local city. But when we're able to kind of travel around a little more freely with not worrying about the pandemic as much, so down the road, a lot of these activities and excursions usually would incorporate other cities and even other countries if borders are so easy to cross as they are in Europe. So some really excellent opportunities for you to take advantage of. Academics. Now, probably should have put the study part first, but let's talk a little bit about academics. So I've mentioned the academic tracks, but here's a visual for you. We've got an art and architecture track. There's a business track where you're going to find some of your econ and finance type courses. There's communications, journalism, and new media as a track, global and community health, language, literature, and culture, and STEM and society. So if not otherwise noted, all of the courses offered in each of these tracks are taught in English, with the exception of the language courses. You do not need to have prior experience in the foreign language to apply to an open campus block program. So for example, you don't need to be a German speaker to go to Berlin or an Italian speaker to study in Rome. However, if you're interested in taking the language, we do offer the language at all levels to suit, beginner all the way to advanced. And you can take more than one language course. So let's say you wanted to start with German beginning 1 in block 1, and then continue with German beginning 2 in block 2, you could do so. So that's pretty exciting there. So again, all in English, no language prerequisite for the courses, and you can mix and match from the academic tracks to suit you. You're not locked in, even if you are majoring in one of these tracks. So in terms of the academic culture, I would say because the blocks are shorter and you're focusing in on 2 classes, they are intensive. So they are going to be a little bit maybe more rigorous, but I think for ASU students, this may not be such an issue because you are used to the block model. But yes, we are used to this kind of accelerated track, then it won't be a problem for you. But I would say very similar to the US standards, a lot of our professors are, we hire the professors from local university, but they're used to teaching to US college students. All of the students that sit in these classes will be CIEE students, so they are coming from US colleges and universities. So the courses are also kind of a mix. You're not just going to have all lecture or all discussion. It's a mixture of these things. And then co-curricular study tours are built in. So we try to make the city your classroom as well as just to get you out and incorporate the outside world into your classroom. So I think that's kind of an exciting part of studying abroad. Not studying art history from Arizona. You're actually there to walk around the museums in Paris or Madrid. We do encourage, and participation would be required. So, you will have quizzes, you will have midterms and finals, just as you would at ASU. One important note there in bold, you will see that your grades do transfer back to ASU and they will factor into your GPA. So you definitely want to take them seriously when you study abroad.
And I will say, historically, students have done very well in this program. I would provide a caveat of normally if we see students struggle, it's due to missed classes. And, again, as you think about those ASU session A or B courses, if you really miss a chunk of time in one of those classes, it's very challenging to overcome because of the fast-paced nature. So make sure that you're going to class.
Such a good point, though. That is important. Participation and attendance is really important. We don't want you to fall behind. But as is, I think, with US professors, if something were to happen or something were to come up, that's why it's really excellent to have the staff members there. Just keep in touch with our staff abroad to let them know, alert them if you need to miss a class for any reason. I have to say independent travel is not a good enough reason, but something like if you had a doctor's visit or something like that, you would certainly, of course, we can help you with the excused absence if necessary. One of the exciting parts, I think, of the Open Campus Block program that I haven't yet mentioned as one of the tracks is the academic project. So this is really where you get the kind of the internship or the service learning or independent research opportunities. You're able to do an academic project in any block you choose. So it could be block 1 or 2 or 3. You cannot do 2 academic projects in one block. You must do 1 project in 1 course, but you could do more than 1 academic project if this was appealing to you. So maybe internship in block 1 with a course and a service learning project with a course. It is open to you. So this is you would build into your schedule just like a course would. It would fit into 1 block and you would participate in 1 6-week block. Even with the internship, we just kind of truncate the contact hours there. So this is something you can indicate when you apply to the program that you're interested in doing an academic project during the course pre-selection process. Okay, and moving on from that, I think we're going into eligibility requirements. So you must have a GPA of 2.5 or higher, and you must be a degree-seeking student at ASU, and you have to be in good standing with the ASU Code of Conduct. You will apply through ASU first. And if you have questions about that process, Barbara can speak to the application or deadlines, anything along those lines.
Yeah, and through ASU, you'll also find that we will ask you to also start your CIEE application. So you will be in, as we like to say, both application systems simultaneously so that you are working through both of us and ensuring that you're receiving all of the important information from both sides, both ASU and CIEE. Awesome. Okay. So I get the fun part about talking about money. So we want to make sure that you not only have a strong academic plan for your program, but that you have a plan for how to fund your study abroad opportunity. So On our website, so I'll drop our website in the chat box here real quickly, just so you have it. But here, for each program, you will find that we provide cost breakdowns by program. There's our website in the chat box. For CIEE programs, you'll find that you will be paying a program fee for the semester that you are abroad. And as you'll see, there are going to be breakdowns based on your residency classification at ASU. So make sure that you are selecting whether you are an Arizona resident or a non-resident in order to determine what your program costs will look like. Your program fee for the semester will include tuition for the number of credits you will be earning through the program, as well as your housing, international health insurance, other administrative fees, and on-site program activities. So you will find that that program fee is quite comprehensive and does provide a lot of inclusions. Molly was mentioning earlier, CIEE does provide a number of different on-site program activities, both associated with your classes as well as fun cultural activities. So those are all things that you are paying for in that overall program fee. Our cost sheets will also provide you with a non-billable estimate. So those non-billable fees are going to be for items like your passport, airfare, if any visas are required, if you're staying somewhere for all 18 weeks of the program, you may be required to apply for a visa. So we take into account what those costs look like and receive feedback from past participants as well as CIEE on what their costs typically look like to help create a budget in that non-billable estimate guide. You will find on our website that each program location will have different non-billable estimated costs, whereas the actual program fee will typically remain consistent for CIEE Open Campus programs across all locations. So that's one of the nice features of this program. Now, how you will pay for this program will depend a little bit on you and how you filed FAFSA. So please know that your ASU scholarships and federal financial aid can be applied towards our semester length programs. So CIEE Open Campus program is one that you can use your FAFSA offered aid as well as ASU scholarships towards during the semester. Just to give you a picture, just last year, ASU students received over $1.4 million in study abroad specific scholarships and grants. So there is more funding out there for you to consider applying for in order to pursue a study abroad experience. On our website, again, I'm going to drop a quick link in the chat box here for you guys. We have a whole section to our website for financing your study abroad experience. So within that section, you will find a header for scholarship and grant opportunities. Through our office, you'll find scholarships and grants available. You'll also find resources in our searchable scholarship database for college and departmental scholarship opportunities, as well as national scholarship options. So things like Gilman, Bourne, Fulbright, those types of scholarships. And then CIEE, and we'll get into this in another slide or two, also offers funding for students participating on their programs. And thanks to our relationship with CIEE, some of that funding is earmarked specifically for ASU students, and you will find CIEE Open Campus scholarship opportunities on our website as well. Then lastly, another great place to really get more in-depth into details for how to finance a study abroad program are our Financing Your Study Abroad workshops. We hold those via Zoom every other week on Thursday afternoons. And again, you'll find information on those workshops in that Financing Your Study Abroad program link that I dropped in the chat box. You can see a question here, is need-based scholarship based off of the FAFSA? Yes, so Typically, need-based scholarships and grants will ask for information to be provided from your FAFSA filing. So with study abroad, we always encourage you to make sure that you have a FAFSA on file. Study abroad does, in some cases, increase students' cost of attendance overall for a semester. So there is an increased cost of travel, a different cost of living in the location you'll be spending time abroad. And so that information will be looked at by financial aid and scholarship services again to determine if you may be offered increases in aid. Okay, so scholarships from ASU, we like to share this chart again. You'll find this on the scholarship and grant section of our website as well, but this is where you'll see CIEE semester programs are considered partnership programs. So you'll be looking at this column here, second in from the left. This is where you'll be able to see that most types of ASU scholarships and financial aid that are typically offered can be applied towards this program type. Okay, so those CIEE scholarship opportunities. So as I mentioned, that CIEE Open Campus scholarship is a great one to make sure that you are applying for if you are pursuing the Open Campus program. That's going to be a scholarship administered through ASU, but awarded by CIEE. So you'll see that funding come from CIEE as an overall kind of reduction to your program fee. Then you'll also find that CIEE offers a myriad of other scholarship opportunities, both merit and need-based options. And we really, this is like our mantra with scholarships: apply, apply, apply. It doesn't hurt for you to spend some time working on essays. The only way you will be considered for and potentially receive some of this funding is if you take the time and effort to write an essay. Think about how much time you may work on crafting an essay or two for scholarship applications, and consider the potential payout of a $4,000 scholarship. That is substantial money towards your program fee. And if you only are spending, maybe 2-3 hours working on that essay, revising that essay, maybe another hour or two, it's worth spending that time for the potential payout. Okay, so what's next? Through ASU, we do have a team of peer advisors on staff. So we understand the CIEE Open Campus program. You may have more questions about that program or other opportunities through ASU. So getting started with a peer advisor is a really great place to start. And then making sure that you're visiting our website to really dive deeper into investigating courses offered, financial information for the program to ensure that it really does fit your personal goals for a study abroad experience. Next, we really recommend making sure, especially with a semester study abroad experience, that you're meeting with your major advisor. So get in to speak with your academic advisor and let them know that you're planning to pursue a semester study abroad experience and that you want to make sure that you're mapping out your academic plan for graduation early so that, if you need to be looking to save some electives for your term abroad, how you can make that happen to ensure that you're able to pursue the experience you want to while staying on track for graduation. And then again, that financing your study abroad workshop will really help identify additional scholarship opportunities and kind of help you map out a timeline for when you should start applying for scholarships and planning other financial options. Now, if you are looking for other or more information about study abroad, you can see that nice QR code on the screen. I'm also going to drop that link in the chat field if you would like to sign up with us for more information. You'll also find on this slide our office's general contact information and location on the Tempe campus. But other ways to really, again, get inspired and make sure that you're keeping up with not just our office, but CIEE as well. Make sure that you're following us on social media. You know, social media can be hard right now with everything going on in the world, but we hope that our posts and CIEE's posts are a way to help find some inspiration for future opportunities. So I think that is all. We're going to be taking some questions from the chat box. So if you have questions that you would like to ask, please feel free to add those in the chat box. We will be monitoring there and answering some questions live, some questions we may address through the chat to make sure that individuals are receiving the most relevant information. But I hope this session was helpful and gave you some more specific details about one of our popular programs here at ASU among students. And please, again, feel free to drop those questions in the box for me and Molly to help address.
Barbara, it looks like we have one that might be a specific one from Jessica for about financial aid and her kind of specific situation. So I wonder if you have any advice there for her. She's not quite 24, and so she's listed as a dependent. Would your advice be to check in with the Fed financial aid office?
So I'd recommend, Jessica, that you really be working with financial aid and scholarship services. Their team has financial aid counselors available, both virtually and in person if you are on campus, to talk through exactly how you should be reporting information for FAFSA given your personal circumstances. Unfortunately, we are not financial aid experts ourselves, and so we're not necessarily able to provide personal advice on how to provide the correct information for these forms, but ASU's financial aid office will certainly be able to provide assistance. And Jessica, if you don't know where to find their contact information, I'll drop my email address in the chat box and can follow up with you to make sure that you're getting to the right folks. Yeah, of course.
And also, I think some of the scholarships that we had spoken about today are not necessarily dependent on the FAFSA. So there's still, even if, let's say, you hit a wall at some point with the need-based grants and scholarships, there are still merit scholarships and other types of funding. So those financing study abroad sessions will be kind of critical to kind of list out what you might be eligible for, what else you might be eligible for, just in case.
Absolutely. And Jessica, just so you know, oftentimes scholarships through our office as well as others will ask for FAFSA information from you, but that is only part of the criteria that is taken under consideration when reviewing scholarship applications. So, for example, our travel grant is primarily financial need based, but our Sun Devils at Work scholarship and our diversity scholarship will look at that information, but that is only one piece of the overall puzzle as to how we will review and allocate scholarship funding.
Great. And then we have a question from, looks like Milad. I think he's asking if he is eligible for the program. It sounds like he may be a new ASU student, perhaps. If I'm interpreting the question correctly, I think that's what he's asking, since he's maybe new to the university. Is he eligible? And
yeah, so we do, as noted in the eligibility criteria, we do look for that 2.5 GPA. If you are a transfer student and have transfer credit, that will come through to ASU that will demonstrate at least a 2.5 GPA. We do consider that as well, but we do want to make sure that you have those minimum qualifications and have at least one full-time semester of credit under your belt before considering your application. So
I muted myself. Samantha was asking if the program will work after after graduating in the summer. Samantha, these are the programs, the study abroad programs, especially Open Campus Block and other study abroad programs. We award undergraduate credit. So if it's if you have graduated and you maybe don't need the credit but just want the experience, then that you can apply. We look for, matriculated students. So if you are a post-grad student applying to this opportunity, you would apply in a different way. You could still apply to the program, but I think I might suggest other inroads or other options for you, perhaps an internship experience or a teach abroad program if you're a postgraduate student. These are not credit-bearing experiences necessarily, but they are kind of more experiences that are a gateway to the working world and things like that. But if you are a postgrad, you can still apply, just with the knowledge that this will grant you undergraduate academic credit. If that makes sense. Great. Yeah. So there are some CIEE internship programs I can pop in the chat. Some of them are actually virtual internships at this point in time too, given our circumstances. But then some are global internships, so they would actually be an internship abroad in person. And then teach abroad could be a really interesting program for you to consider as a postgraduate student. So I can drop some links for you if you'd like. I'll do that now. And yes, it's through a similar portal that you can study abroad. Did you already do it, Barbara? You're so good. You're so good.
I dropped your general study abroad.
Okay, great.
In there as a starting point.
That's actually a great starting point because you can put in there, either I am a student looking for credit or I'm looking to teach. So it kind of can lead you to all of our programs. So that's a good one.
So and a lot Samantha, of those teach programs are looking to apply not as an ASU student any longer, you would just be applying directly to CIEE and would not be applying through ASU any longer. Our office, unfortunately, is only able to support students who are enrolled at ASU through our office. And so if you will be graduating in spring 2021 and are looking to pursue an experience after your graduation and are not planning to immediately enroll in a grad program through ASU or something like that, you would be looking at applying directly to the program you are interested in pursuing. If there are any other links or resources right now that we may be able to help provide, or other questions you'd like to ask or have us address, please let us know, and we're happy to help address those.
Samantha has another question related to internships, finding an internship through a company. So just if I could speak to the CIEE Global Internship Programs. Now this is also a credit-bearing experience for undergraduate students. So it may not be the best inroad, especially if you find and kind of have your own network to set up an internship through a company. I'd encourage you maybe to go directly with that company and do the internship, because the CIEE programs are kind of a fee for service type of experience. So we will place you with an internship, but there is a program fee associated with it. And for the global internship programs, they are credit bearing. So it's best for undergraduate students who would want those credits to transfer back to their university. So first, those enrolled The virtual global internship experience, though, is not a credit-bearing program right now. It's still fee for service, but it's quite a unique program. So you'd be placed in a virtual an internship virtually with an international company. It's kind of interesting. But if you have inroads, I'd encourage you to explore those independently.
And Samantha, another good resource for you, since it sounds like you will be graduating shortly, is ASU Handshake. This is a platform run through ASU Career and Professional Development Services to highlight internship opportunities, both for ASU students, ASU alumni, students who are upcoming graduates. So it's a really great place to kind of learn more about different internship or work opportunities that may be available to you. And with any internship at this stage, I'd encourage you, if there is a fee associated, make sure that you are understanding what that fee is going towards. As Molly mentioned, with CIEE, many of their programs are going to be credit bearing. And so is that something that you're looking to earn credit for or not? Is that a fee that you want to pay or not? And are there other opportunities available to you that are going to present similar experiences? So Handshake will be a great place to also kind of research and make sure that you're using career and professional development services as you find something, to make sure that they also think it's a good opportunity for you. So we'll hang on for another couple minutes. Looks like those who have needed to move on have logged off at this stage, but we still have a few more in the session. So please, again, continue using that chat box for any questions you may have. Molly and I will hang on here for another couple of minutes and see if anything else comes up. Yeah, so if you're really looking for just pursuing work experience, there are, as Molly mentioned, like teach abroad opportunities, or their virtual internship experience that aren't going to be credit bearing experiences, but are going to be more in tune with work experience. Those are great options. Or again, using Handshake to really dive deeper into internship opportunities available that are through kind of ASU partners. Handshake is a platform that helps kind of vet and receive internship opportunity postings from a number of different companies that ASU has relationships with, as well as outside providers with opportunities. And so that would be a really good place to really spend some time researching what all may be available to you. Absolutely.
And Barbara, you have your applications open now. You said
yes.
Okay.
We do have applications open now at this time for fall 2021 as well as spring 2022. So if you are continuing as an ASU student into those terms, you certainly can start an application now. Deadlines for fall 2021 typically are not until around April 1st. So you have some time to be applying. And then our spring 2022 application deadline won't be until fall of 2021. So again, we have lots of time to be planning, but we find that this is a nice way for everyone to understand what's involved and get a head start.
It sounds like Milad just had some questions about, applying is it virtual? I think he's based in Spain. So he was asking
gotcha.
about that directly. And if he's an ASU student, though, already matriculated, which seems to be, then he should have no problem applying through your office and CIEE as well.
Correct.
Right. Okay, great. So just want to make sure he knows he's eligible. The chats were coming privately. He says his TOEFL examination has expired. Is that a concern to your office, Barbara?
If he has been admitted to ASU as a degree-seeking student, it had to be valid at the time of admission.
Great.
As long as you are an admitted ASU student, that is not information that we are looking for again in order to determine eligibility for like a CIEE program. Some of our exchange programs in the UK or Australia may ask for proof of English proficiency. And so in those cases, it may be needed, but typically for our partnership programs, enrollment in a degree at ASU is sufficient proof of English
Great.
Proficiency.
That's helpful. Thank you. I don't see any more questions coming through either from, yeah, I think we're.
All right, well then I think we will say farewell for today. And if other questions come up in the meantime, guys do have our office's contact information, and we'll be happy to help address questions as they arise. Hopefully this was a helpful resource in getting to know the CIEE Open Campus programs in greater detail. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.